In today's video, my new pressure washer. Let's go. Okay, so it's probably no mystery to you what pressure washer I ended up going with. As you can tell from the title of this video, I went with the AR Blue Clean Pro 675. Now the reason why I ended up going with this machine is basically the price. Paired with the Krensle, it has very similar numbers, but it's about $300 to $400 cheaper. By the way, I apologize for the wind and for the wind chimes here at my client's house. This thing does have really good spec numbers. It's spec'd out at max 2000 PSI and 1.7 GPM. However, the operating specs when tested with a 3.5 orifice were a solid 1.6 GPM and around a 900 to 1000 PSI, which is really good for auto detailing if that's what you're going to be using it for. So today I'm going to show you what it looks like when I foam and also when I rinse. Now compared to my old Adams machine, which had a much lower GPM, I can tell a difference when I rinse especially. And I do notice a little bit of an uptick in foam quality. I don't know how much of that is going to be able to be picked up by the camera, but take my word for it, it does foam really good. This thing does require a 15 amp circuit to run on. So unlike the ARBC 630 Hot, that requires a 20 amp circuit, which unless you're going to be running your own generator, but if you're looking for something that you can use as a mobile detailer like I do, 99.9% of people have a 15 amp circuit run to their home. So this machine, which only requires a 15 amp circuit, is perfect. Something I really like about this machine is it has a very small footprint, but it does weigh 49 pounds. So if you carry this thing along with the cord, which is 20 feet long by the way, I think that's a little excessive, but some of you may appreciate a longer cord. If you pair that up with the cord and the machine, and maybe you carry your hose along with it, you're looking at well over 50 pounds. Now obviously this little unit is not meant to be carried around on its own all the time. It's not super sturdy on the feet that are down underneath it. So it really is meant to be mounted on either a shelf in a shop or on some kind of cart setup. I do plan on getting a small cart for this in the near future. However, I'm kind of waiting on that just to see what my new setup is going to be. We ordered a new van for the business, so it's going to take a number of months to come in. So I've got some time to figure out what kind of setup on this pressure washer I'm going to use. Something I really like about this machine too is that it is super quiet. It's actually even quieter than my old Adams machine. Now I also bought this thing with an MTM upgrade package, which came with a 50-foot 3/8 steel braided hose, which I'm not sure if I'm going to use that or not. My old Adams 40-foot steel braided hose is much lighter, less cumbersome, and it is still a really good hose. So for the time being, I'm going to continue to use that. And it also came with this upgraded MTM shorty gun, which is really nice. It's super light. And I actually bought separately this MTM blue protective tip, which is a 3.0 nozzle. And I love this thing. This thing is really cool. I'm glad I spent the $38 to get it. The only thing I would say that I wish they did a little differently was put some kind of marker on the outer rim of the nozzle here, the rubber nozzle, to tell you what direction your water blade is facing, whether horizontal or vertical. But other than that, this thing is really cool. I'm going to be honest, I bought this thing mainly because it looks really cool, but honestly, it does provide some protection if you're getting a little close to the paint or inside areas with your nozzle that have paint on them, like this Jeep behind me. When I'm hosing down in between the rear spare tire and the rear door, that area can be pretty tight, and I don't want to damage the paint at all with my nozzle just in case I hit the paint. So this thing protects me in that regard. It's a 40-degree fan, a 3.0 orifice, and it works really good, and you'll see this thing in action in a few minutes. There's also this nice little holding area on the back of the machine. This is obviously meant to hold the AR Blue Clean stock wand and nozzle, but I'm going to be using my old wand from my old Adams pressure washer. It's still excellent quality. It is an MTM style wand. It's made from stainless steel, so I'm still going to be using that, and it does fit very nicely in this slot, and ARBC even gives you a little rubber strap to hold it in. Now the ARBC Pro 675 does come with a siphon tube and filter. Personally, I really have no need for it. If I'm going to be spraying detergent, I'm using my foam cannon. However, I do see it being useful for other purposes other than auto detailing. Now here at the end of the machine, I temporarily attached the tip holder from my old Adams machine. Just to be clear, the ARBC did not come with this. Again, when I get this machine mounted to a cart permanently, I'm sure there'll be a place to put my nozzle tips on the cart itself. So let me show you this thing in action. First I'm going to show you how it foams, and then I'm going to show you how it rinses. So let's first see what kind of foam this thing produces. So I'm actually going to put the camera right behind the pressure washer. I'm not going to use any musical overlays, so you can see just how quiet this little ARBC Pro 675 really is. So you can see just how quiet the ARBC really is, even with the camera directly behind the machine and the microphone facing forward. Now with the camera directly behind the foam cannon, the decibel level of the foam cannon is actually louder than the pressure washer itself. Now I don't know how well the camera is picking it up, but take my word for it here in person that the higher GPM that this little machine produces is producing a better foam. Now let's see what that higher GPM gives us in a rinse. And now the same holds true during the rinsing process. The nozzle actually has a higher decibel level than the pressure washer itself. Okay, so I hope you can tell from the camera footage how well this thing does on a rinse down also. That higher GPM really does make a difference both in the foam and in the rinse. It helps you get those suds off the panel that much quicker and that much more efficiently. Now one little thing that I don't really like about this machine, it's not a big thing, it's actually a very minor detail, but the little bit of delay before this thing kicks in. It's not much, but it's a tiny bit of an annoyance. But again, maybe I'm nitpicking here, but overall this machine is really good. And one of the best things about it is it does have a very small footprint, so it takes up hardly any space in my truck and my soon-to-be van. Now the MTM upgrade kit does come with a set of tips, a full set of I believe it's 0, 15, 25, and 40 degree tips. They are 3.5 orifices. Now one thing I will say is that I tried my old pressure washer tips with this machine from Adams, and I believe they are 2.0 orifice size. Don't quote me on that. I did find some information online as to what size they are, and they said it was a 2.0, so I'm not totally sure about that, but one thing I can say is that this thing did not work with those orifices. Now the MTM tip nozzle that I bought here is a 3.0, so if those other tips are a 2.0 orifice, that means that this thing will not work with anything below a 3.0 orifice. So just be aware that if you're going to use this machine, use a 3.0 orifice or higher. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, especially if you're considering purchasing the ARBC Pro 675 for yourself, or if you're comparing it to ARBC's other professional models. I hope this video helps you make a more informed decision as to what you're going to buy. Also, I'll make sure to link this machine and all the other products and the kits that I mentioned in this video in the description below. So if you did enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give us a like right down below. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. That way you won't miss any future auto detailing content just like this. So as always, I'm Seth with Turner Mobile Detailing, and we'll see you in the next video.